Hey, I'm Ashley Cass of Sophisticated Strength, and today we are talking about pull-ups. So I've been getting a lot of questions recently, especially from my ladies, about how to train pull-ups, and then also wondering about the question like, can women do pull-ups just as well as men can? And the answer is yes. There's a but to that. So we do have a different set of hormones than men do that change our predisposition for strength. Our center of gravity tends to be a little bit lower. So are pull-ups a little more difficult for us? Maybe, but a lot of it is just how we're going about training them. Women can do pull-ups, women should do pull-ups, and I'm gonna show you how you can achieve that today. So the first thing that we need to talk about when we're talking about pull-ups is the position. In any exercise that we do, there's a specific position, there's a posture that we're looking for. And most of the time, what we're looking for is to stay stable through the trunk, right? So where your lower back is, you want to stay strong through there. We get a lot of motion through the hips, a lot of motion through the shoulders, but here is a place where we need to stay stable. And so a lot of times what you'll hear is you need to maintain neutral spine, but neutral spine is sort of relative to the position. When I am hanging from a bar, as you will be in a pull-up, my body kind of just wants to hang the opposite way, right? I lose that stability in my trunk. So to counter that, I almost have to go the other way. I have to hollow position. Think yoga, like cat spine, rounding through your whole front spine. If I can do that, shorten my whole front side, then I can actually just stay neutral here. So the first exercise, and I'm gonna give you a series of exercises to progress through, is gonna teach you how to find that position. So we're actually gonna start out not on the bar, but down on the floor. So let's find that hollow position. Let's break it out a little more specifically. I'm gonna have my imaginary pull-up bar, any kind of dowel that you've got, even lying around the house works here. I'm gonna crush grip this, pretend like I'm snapping it over my knee to create a lot of tension in my shoulders. And I'm gonna reach my feet straight up. So let's find this hollow. I'm gonna shorten my chest. If I do that, that's gonna lift my head up off the ground. I'm still gonna stay long through my neck. I'm gonna shorten my abs. That's gonna round out my back even a little bit more. And I'm gonna pull my toes towards my face as well. If I can do that, that's gonna shorten all the muscles on the front side of my legs. And then I'm just gonna try and add resistance to it. If I reach my hands and my arms away, this position is gonna get harder to hold. It's gonna become more challenging. And you wanna find the place where it is the most challenging, but you can still get it done. So not where your lower back is about to rip off the ground, but somewhere before that edge. And then you're gonna work your way all the way to the ground, where my feet are hovering just an inch or two off the floor, my arms are just an inch or two off the floor. I'm hanging out here for 20 to 30 seconds easily. So you might spend a couple of weeks just training that position alone, and then you're gonna move to the next exercise. If you can do it on the ground, you can start to practice doing it from the bar. You can practice hanging from the bar. So we have two different ways we can hang from the bar. One is with a passive shoulder, that's where you're gonna start. So passive, right? That sounds like I'm not doing much. I'm gonna do less with the shoulders here. Maybe my shoulders are close to my ear here. All I'm gonna focus on is hanging from the bar with a straight arm. My hands are shoulder width distance apart. You can crush grip this by wrapping the webbing between your index finger and your thumb around the bar. So I've got that passive shoulder. All I'm gonna focus on is holding that hollow position here. I'm hanging from the bar, trying to hold on, or again, working your way up to 20 to 30 seconds. And then once I've got that, I can practice with an active shoulder. So the difference is where my shoulders are in relation to my ear. Active, I'm gonna pull them down and hold on. So let's change it. This is passive. Now I'm moving to this active shoulder. So I go back to my hollow, holding on, 20 to 30 seconds. So then the next progression is a hang, but instead of hanging from the bottom with your arms straight, you're gonna hang from the top of the bar. So you're gonna jump your way, we're gonna skip the pulling portion and just practice holding at the top of the pull-up bar. You've probably heard of this called as like a flex arm hang. Same thing, crush gripping it. Now you can do two things to get up here. You can position a box. My box is kind of short, but you can position a box that's taller so that all you have to do is step forward and the bar is kind of in line with your chest already. That can be super easy. If you can jump and you've got a little bit of upper body strength, you can also jump, as I'm going to show you here, and jump yourself to the top of the bar. And then I'm going to lock in that hollow position as quickly as I can. So shorten chest, shorten abs, toes to your nose, holding on, pulling the bar to you. And that's a really important concept too. Back to our posture. The posture is the most important part of any exercise. Whatever exercise we're giving you, whatever weight we're adding to it, is just resistance to the posture we're asking you to hold. So you want to imagine not that you're pulling yourself up and over the bar, but that you're holding yourself stable in that hollow and then pulling the bar to you. That's how you're going to be the most strong here. All right, so then we're going to practice lowering ourselves down. So instead of just jumping to the top and holding, you're going to keep that active shoulder, remember the shoulder that's far away from your ear, and you're going to lower yourself down with control. Set it up the same way, jump yourself to the top, and then lower yourself down, maybe a 4 count, and then step yourself right back up. For the second rep, you'll jump right back up. Something important to consider here is that whenever you're actually doing a pull-up, the top of the pull-up is the easiest part. The closer you get to the bar pulling, the easier the pull-up becomes. The toughest part of the pull-up is when you initiate it, when your arm is mostly straight, right? You don't have a lot of leverage here. You have a straight elbow, and then you've got to create a lot of tension to pull yourself up. But then once you get here, you've got a lot of leverage. It's easy to pull through. So as you lower, you want to focus on slowing down that bottom part. So I jump to the top. The top lower can be a little bit faster, and then focus on really grinding out this bottom part, trying to hold on all the way to the bottom. Spend extra time there. All right, and then the last progression, so after you've worked on this for a couple of weeks, maybe you get yourself up to 4 sets of 4. So we're not talking about timed holds anymore. We're talking about sets and reps. So the reps is how many you do. You're going to do 4 right in a row, and then you'll take a 2-minute break, and then jump up again. When you can do 4 times 4, it's probably time to go to the next progression. And this, now we're actually going to practice pulling through the pull-up, the part of it that we all know and recognize. So a band can help you out here. You may be able to just start practicing the pull-up without the band by the time you get to that 4 times 4. But if you can't, a band is super helpful here. All you need to do is wrap the band around the bar. And you're going to step a foot or 2 into the loop. And then this is going to help me pull myself up a little bit easier. It's going to take away some of the resistance of my body weight. And then everything is the same. Now you're focusing on the pulling action. So you don't want to spend too much time on the lower here, and you don't want to spend too much time on the top. You want to focus on that pulling action alone. So I'm not hanging out at the top long. I'm just focused on the pull. And so here, you can work your way up to maybe 5 pull-ups. We'll say maybe 3 sets of 5 pull-ups. And by that time, you should be able to get your first pull-up. Might be hidden in there somewhere. All right, guys, so let's recap. You're gonna be spending a couple weeks at each of these exercises. Consider each of them phases that we're moving through. You're starting with that hollow hold on the ground. So remember, you're gonna try and get your feet as close to the ground as you can, holding on to that hollow position, working your way up to 20 to 30 seconds. Once you can do that, we're gonna work on holding our hollow as we hang. So you've got that passive hang. We're not worried about the shoulders. We're just worried about holding onto the bar and maintaining that hollow. You'll get 20 to 30 seconds there. And then you'll be progressing yourself by adding in that rooted down shoulder, 20 to 30 seconds there. Once you've completed those, you are up to that flex arm hang. So you're jumping yourself to the top of the bar, locking in your hollow. You're gonna try and hold yourself 20 to 30 seconds there. The next place you're gonna go to is the slow lower, the eccentric pull-up. So you'll jump yourself to the top, but this time you're not staying there. You're gonna start to immediately slowly lower yourself down. You wanna try and lower yourself down for something about like 4 seconds. You'll repeat that 4 times, take a 2-minute break, and then you're back at it 3 more rounds. And here's the place where you might achieve your first pull-up. It might be possible by the time you're done with that eccentric phase. If you can, you wanna focus on greasing the groove. And that means anytime you pass a pull-up bar, you have to do a pull-up. So you gotta put yourself in the right position. You might need to buy a pull-up bar, you might need a gym membership, figure it out. You wanna practice this skill as much as you can. Either way, you're gonna add the band in, and the next phase you're gonna be actively pulling yourself through the pull-up. You wanna find a band where you can get at least 5 done, complete at least 3 rounds. So either way, whether you come out at the end of this progression with a full pull-up, you can always rinse and repeat. The important thing is that you're practicing the actual action of the pull-up. And that's the real difference between men and women. Boys and girls, neither of us are necessarily taught how to do pull-ups in gym class anymore. We get tested on it, but no one instructs us how. The difference is that for men, it's really part of that masculine culture. If their gym teacher isn't teaching them how to do it, chances are their coaches or their father figure is. But women, we don't necessarily have that as part of our culture, right? That doesn't mean we can't change that though. You can practice pull-ups, you can achieve your pull-up, and you should train pull-ups. I'm Ashley Cass of Sophisticated Strength. For a full write-up, for the full program of this pull-up program, all you gotta do is click on the link below and I'll have the full PDF for you so you can train yourself to your first pull-up. All right, guys.